When I tell people not to waste coffee, I tell them the journey of the coffee. Specialty coffee demands more attention to detail on what you pick, that you pick only the ripest coffee fruits, and then finally milling them and roasting them to a specialty level. Amadeo is really a coffee town. Every piece of property you'll see around here have, coffee. Because here in Amadeo, Cavite, the elevation is perfect for coffee. We thought that our initiatives to start this tech center and to make it part of our organic farm will become an inspiration for a lot of farmers who have started to give up, whose children don't want to carry on coffee production or coffee farming. We are being here as an inspiration and to teach the young, because our hope is in the next generation of coffee farmers. Coffee farmers now are encouraged. We buy their harvest every year, and so they want to carry on the practice of growing coffee in this place.
We're not a country that's well known for its coffee, but a lot can be learned about coffee in the Philippines. Thanks to the condition here, we get a range of exciting varieties and flavor. Thanks to the work of people like Chitwan and the Philippine Coffee Board, it's an industry that's finding its place in both local and global markets. While we cannot produce large quantities of coffee yet, local beans like the Liberica and Robusta growing in Amadeo are perfect for specialty brewing. Ms. Chit showed me around her farm and other surrounding areas in Amadeo to get a better idea of the community and the exciting work they're doing growing coffee.
Chef Carlos, we're now here at the Coffee Technology Center. It's part of our organic farm, and this is where we sow seedlings for coffee, because here in Amadeo, Cavite, the elevation is perfect for the three varieties, Robusta, Excelsa, and Liberica. They grow at elevations of 300 meters and up. And Amadeo is about 400 meters above sea level. We are actually developing this as an organic farm. That means we don't use any chemical pesticides or fertilizers. We make our own compost, almost like making our own soil. We just let everything that is beneficial to each other, so they're symbiotic. The coffee growing with coconuts, some even plant pineapple. Because it's at this elevation that all these fruits thrive. In Amadeo, it's part of upland Cavite, what they call upland Cavite. There's probably about over 10 towns that are on the higher elevation. And before, people thought that coffee could only be found in Batangas, like in the 1700s. But I guess, it crossed over to Cavite, and they realized, hey, it's the same elevation as Lipa. People actually started planting coffee here even back also in the 1800s. When we let experts taste the coffee, they said, give me your worst coffee.
Okay.
And I said, that's the worst. No, there's got to be something worse than this. I said, no. Oh my gosh, your worst coffee is already very good for us. When I tell people not to waste coffee. I tell them the journey of the coffee. As you can see, this tree, it'll start having buds like this on the nodes, and then that becomes the fruit. This one, even at a young age, is already big because the Barajo is bigger. It's the biggest among the 4 varieties.
From this
Yeah.
bud, how long will it take for it to become?
In the space of 9 months, it's like people. Everything is on 9 months, 9 months.
9 months, 9
Yeah.
months.
And it'll do that, and then this will be ready for harvest like maybe in January next year. So we'll wait for it to get red because it will not turn red all at the same time.
You pick it one by one. You just choose the ripe one, and then after you leave it all to ripen by itself.
And after you pick the red, you have to come back, pick more red, and then process those coffee. And that's why when it gets to your cup, I would have devoted a lot of hours just doing that and counting the 45 or so beans that goes into your cup. That's the journey of coffee, from the tree to your cup. Now that we know the journey of the coffee, let's check the next part, which is how to get the ripe berries into your cup. First, we have to roast them. Let's see how they roast. Oh, there's Bea. Hi, Bea. This is Chef Carlos, and I was telling him about your roastery. In the roastery, they can cook the coffee, if you will, in different levels of roast, and that's what they blend. So Bea is going to show you what happens at the roastery.
The roasting process plays an important role in the last step of making coffee, because each minute that it's spent in the roast develops a different kind of flavor.
This is our coffee roasting machine. The coffee drops from the hopper and then it roasts for about 15 to 18 minutes if we're targeting medium to medium dark, or 12 minutes if it's going to be lighter.
So from light roast, you'll get something which is fruity, earthy, to medium roast, which is nutty, and also a bit of caramelized flavor. And when you go to the dark roast, it became a bit spicy and also a bit roasty. Hi.
Hi, Carlos. So now that you've seen the tree, the fruit, and how it's roasted, now I'm going to let you try Barajo.
It's not that bitter, but you get all the notes of the coffee.
That's right. And it becomes fruity because of the longer fermentation time. In fact, a lot of people like it because it has a different flavor profile from maybe an Arabica. Now let's try the Arabica. It can also be fruity, but it's a different note.
It is fruity, but it's very distinctive.
The Barajo and the Arabica are, you could say, worlds apart.
Exactly, it's like black and white.
Yeah. Let's get ready for the strong coffee, which is the Robusta.
That is intense.
Intense, and there's that punch.
There is, actually, there's a kick to it.
Yes, there's a kick. So if you really want that caffeine, then you can start with this.
What I really like about the Amadeo coffee is the distinction of its different beans. On the roasting part, this one, you can actually taste the bean itself. It has that unique and distinct flavor. So for me, when I go back to the kitchen, what I wanted to do to create a dish out of coffee is to put something that is out of its natural notes, rather than mixing something to remove all of its flavor out of coffee. Normally, coffee is served as a drink, but we wanted to give it another dimension. That's why we're incorporating it in different elaboration that gives texture and life. The dish that we are preparing today is a dessert made out of coffee with different textures. We're gonna create a coffee ganache, which is something very creamy, and also pairing it with a bit of white chocolate and then with a little bit of cream. So you get that smooth and creamy texture. And then after, we're gonna make a coffee meringue, which is something crunchy, but you get all the aromas of coffee. The coffee meringue is made out of white eggs, and then we sprinkle some fresh coffee into it. We lay it down in the parchment paper and we dehydrate it overnight. Also, we're gonna be preparing a coffee ice cream. We made the coffee ice cream from scratch. So we use the coffee that we got from Amadeo, we brew it, and then we make a crème anglaise with some egg and also some milk, and then we put it in our ice cream maker. To round everything off, we're pairing it with a fermented banana to give that acidity and fruity flavor with some chocolate mousse. What we want to represent in the dish that we created today is actually the whole farm that we saw in Amadeo. Because it's not actually just coffee that they're farming, but also there's a lot of other fruits and vegetables that are growing around it that makes their coffee special. One of my biggest learning is just how the right support and education can really prop up a budding industry like coffee in the Philippines. We're used to thinking about local industries in terms of quantity, how much we can produce, how much we can export, but there's a certain magic in small industries that allows farmers to cultivate unique products at a scale that allows them to put love into every batch roasted and every cup brewed. You can really taste the difference.